So, when we last left off, our party members, or the three members of the Phoenix Rising Party, two affiliates picked up from Thorgunum, York Ooze, and Mace, have also partnered up with them as well to partake on several high value quests across the realm of Tungra. And this group, assigned with finding and locating a fire ring wielder by the name of Sao Jaho, under the understanding that he may be located somewhere on the continent of Primos, particularly having been given information that perhaps they can find additional details about his whereabouts in the mountain monastery where so many of the elemental monks do dwell. On the way, of course, needing a boat, our party found the Swallowtails and Captain Paulo and made arrangements to group up with them, and part of this agreement being that they would assist with the capture and or disposal of a red dragon by the name of Diak Pandemics. No stranger to our party, one that members have been involved with prior to in some affairs on the island of Primos. While making way by ship, the party stopped at the Outpost, a seaborne station where mercenaries, adventurers, merchants, and secret societies, as we have found out, like to dwell, pass on messages, share wares, and commune with the rest of the seafaring folk. And after spending some time here in the outpost, shopping between the different merchants, getting a feel for the economy and gathering up some additional allies, our party has found themselves in the midst of Zehirian cultists. What looked to be a unit of about 6 to 8 cultists were listening to one particular speaker preach a message of the return of their god and of their global mission to increase their ranks and the strength of Zehir as a result. And having his interest piqued by this conversation, Aralos approached the cultists, and after some small talk, he decided to partake of the communion. And he drank of the poison, the blood of Zehir. And as the liquid touched his lips, he felt the burning sensation, one that would knock him unconscious and teleport him into a new realm, a different plane, if you will. One where he partook in direct intercession with Zehir himself, who challenged him, "Why are you here?" And the defiant Aralos answered back, "I do not fear you." And after some time with this back and forth, Mace and York, after witnessing their ally fall to the ground and writhe with foam coming out of his mouth, they approached. And then they, intimidated, if you will, or questioned the cultists and accused him of attempting to poison their ally. The commotion then gathering the attention of several guards and several patrons here on the outpost. And when we last left off, with all the commotion going on about and no true answer for what happened and what exactly is going on with the Ralos, Mace, in desperate attempt to heal his ally by any means, delivered to him the very item which is gifted to him earlier to prevent any type of poisonous decay or infliction. And this tincture, this potion, after pouring it into the mouth of Aralos as he was passed out, removed the poison from his body. However, though his body was no longer poisoned, the son of the Nightshade did not wake up. And so our party finds himself here on the outpost as the cultist calls out,
"You have ruined it! You have ruined it! Now he will surely die! He will not be baptized! He will not!"
The guards now, in frenzy, start to approach.
"Back up! Back up, or my men will slay every one of you! Do not lay a finger on me. You have ruined his machinations. Be gone! Leave, take him!"
Mace, York, as you guys witness the cultists beginning to not panic but become agitated at the healing of this poison that was inflicted on Aralos, the stoppage of this ritual that was being had here. What would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna tug on the rope that I got this man on. Tell him to pipe down.
Let me go. Unrope me.
No, I don't feel like it. You got a lot to say. You got a lot to offer. You're coming with us.
As he like hisses at you.
Hello, can y'all hear me? Okay. My mic was not working for a second.
Oh, we got you.
Okay. I was just asking how close are the guards to her? Can you hear me?
Yes. So the guards, there's a guard standing directly like behind you. There are several guards kind of holding back the crowd here. And then there are two guards that are like in the middle, kind of just assessing the situation.
Okay. Okay, is the guard behind me the boss of this group of guards or just a random guard?
I don't know how you could tell. You haven't like spoken to any of the guards to know like about any rank or file, if you would.
No, who was the guy that was telling us to like put him down? We need to arrest him. Is that the guard that was
dude
behind
is
me?
standing directly next to you. Yep.
Okay. Okay, I look at him and I say, "Do you not see this? He just threatened us with more of his people, saying he's gonna kill us if we touch him. How much more guilty can he be?"
Well, he has the right to defend himself, and your friend seems to have him roped up. If what he says is true and this fella did partake in this cultist ritual that's been going on here, then there's not much we can do but just see how it plays out.
I understand defending yourself, but to threaten all of us with more people that we have not seen, that will just pop out of nowhere and attack us, the way he just popped out of nowhere and gave my friend this poison.
From the sound of it, sounds like your friend walked up here and partook of the poison. And if you look over there, as he kind of points over to the ship, he's got a lot more men than we do. And so we just like to keep the peace around here.
So you just suggest we just wait for what? Our friend to die?
Well, it was his
And what
choice.
happens if what happens? Okay. And what happens if he dies?
Like I said, that seems to be on him. Then I suggest you get him to some cleric quick.
Where is the nearest one? Where can we go?
He said, "Do I look like I know where a cleric is? We're in the middle of the goddamn ocean."
I saw since you brought it up, you may have had an idea.
How many more questions you gonna ask me while your friend is sitting here passed out?
That wasn't a question.
All right, this is getting silly.
All
Listen,
right.
uh, I think one of those party people that we were recruiting there earlier could probably help us. They don't have it, then this guy's doomed. As I go to try to pick up Aurelio's thrown over the shoulder.
Are you still holding the other dude on your other shoulder?
Other dudes, no, I put him on. He's on the rope.
Oh,
He's getting drugged.
okay. All right. That's
So
it.
you,
And I say, okay,
oh my bad.
that
Go
sounds
ahead.
like a good plan, Mace. I would say, oh, that sounds like a good plan, Mace. Where did you leave them?
They were by the merchant. We got to see if they're up there.
And I look up to the guard and I say, are we allowed to, can we take our friend? Or are you gonna stop us? Are you gonna stop us too? Then I say
Everything
that to the
seems to
guard next
be
to
in
me.
order here. Looks like he's breathing. And hey fella, are you going with these folk? As he calls back to the cultist.
No, unhang me, unrope me now.
Hey, I got some tape. I need to throw it over his mouth right quick.
He looks at you. He goes, you know, honestly, this guy's been a lot of trouble up here anyway. Let's say we turn the other way and you take care of this little problem for us.
Oh, now we're talking. I like it. What's your name?
Name's Bobby.
Oh man, Bobby, I'm glad that you see things my way. I'm gonna take them off your hands. We're gonna figure this out, and hopefully next time me and you speak, we'll have a solution for
Well,
these cultists.
hopefully next time we speak, justice would be administered. As I try to, I don't know how heavy Alvaro is, but I'll probably like carry him, unless Mace wants to do it. I don't know.
Mace already picked him up, so you look and Mace
Oh,
has
okay, Mace picked him
Morales
up.
on his
Okay,
shoulder. Yep, and then he has
okay,
the cultist tied up behind him.
all right,
Yeah.
all right. And I look at the guard and I say, okay, we'll be on our way. And we have motion Mace to lead the way.
All right, let me see. Where's that party at? Where were they at earlier? Still up here? Oh, hey.
Ah, it's our friends. They are back. The dragon hunters. Ha ha! Yes! Are we ready to go slaying? Yes, I'm so excited. Let's go, let's go. Come on, big fella, tell me, are we ready to go now? As
Yeah.
Brutus and Alara all greet you as you walk up to them as they've been waiting.
Slight issue. Needed something to help with my friend. He drank something he wasn't supposed to. Need a little bit of help. We'll pay you to heal.
As Ear says, no need to pay. Show me what's going on with him.
As I lay him on the floor, spread out like a money spread, I say, I healed him from the poison. I gave him a little bit of guidance, but he won't wake up. I don't know what's going on.
This must be some strong poison. As he takes a
That's
look
what I was assuming.
at him and he starts to kind of touch Aralos's neck. He does like kind of like the Doom kind of thing with his fingers as he like tries to medically check him out with his thumbs and his digits, and he goes, He seems to be breathing, but he will not wake. What was he given? What did he take?
No. The one that's tied up back to me, he can give you the answer. As I push him, he's tied up, I push him a little forward. Go ahead, speak.
All right, speak up. Tell us, you heathen. What did you give this young elf?
I've already told them. He wanted to see. He wanted to see. He wanted to know of the power of Zehir. So I showed him. I gave him the tincture, and he drank the blood. And now, he is to be baptized. But you, as he points to Mace, you ruined it. You ruined it. And now he will sleep. He will sleep. He will sleep forever. And there's nothing you can do to stop this.
Man, look. If he sleep forever, you sleeping forever. Just keep that in mind.
Go ahead, roll me an intimidation check with advantage here, as you guys are all kind of ganged up on him, and you've threatened him a couple times now.
All right, roll. Rolling, and I'm rolling.
All right, let's see if you get a nat 20.
I got a 21.
All right, perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got
21
21.
works. He goes,
Okay, hold on. There may be a way, I know, of some secrets, there may be perhaps a way to wake him, but there's only one that I know with the power to do so.
All right, go on, tell me.
Have you heard of Serpent's Embrace?
No, that sounds a little dangerous.
What
A
the heck
little
is
evil.
that?
as he begins to kind of go into this soliloquy about Serpent's Embrace being the island and the home of the Yuan-Ti. It is where all of the Yuan-Ti are from, and he wouldn't be surprised if you haven't seen one or heard of them, being that you guys are both appear to be human or humanoid enough, as they are not considered to be of good repute in Tundra, and so it's very rare that you would even find them outside of Serpent's Embrace. And if you don't frequent the continent of Primos often, especially the more wilder areas of the continent, there's honestly really rare occasion that you would be able to even stumble upon one. And as he goes into this conversation, into this description about what Serpent's Embrace is and how it relates to the world, we're gonna cut to my friend Aralos. Are you here?
Yes, sir.
All right, 1 second.
Excuse me.
All right, 1 second. Sorry. So there's music in the music bot and the Foundry app. So if you're watching the stream and listening to that, you'll hear two different songs playing. So just a heads up. So, Aralos, as
Yeah.
you stand here, bloodied and beaten.
My screen is showing black.
Yep, you're good. It's gonna be black. You're not gonna
For
see
sure. Okay.
anything on the map. This is mostly gonna be theater of mind. I'll show you some stuff
Heard.
as we
Okay.
go through.
Okay.
Yep. Honestly, feel free to watch the stream as well. You can do that in this portion.
For
It'll
sure.
make it easier than me trying to put your token on all these different maps.
Understood.
All right. As you stand here within this plane, bloodied and broken, arm a torn, leg dragging behind your beaten body. The trembling and the trembling and we'll say the vibration or the movement of this plane is very unstable. It almost feels like you are in the belly of some giant creature that is writhing around and moving around within some space that you can't see from your perspective at this point. And as you are slowly fading kind of in and out of this conscious state, you start to remember different aspects of your past, and in particular you go back to briefly a glimpse of you and several of your companions. As you look to your left, you see 4 hooded cloaks, all black and robed with their faces covered, and as you look to your right, you see 5 more, identically clothed but varying in size and composition, and as one of the hoods to your far right, about 3 bodies down, gives you that familiar head nod that you're so used to seeing at this point, working within this unit. You all dart off into the woods. The city that you were overlooking before, so quiet in this moonlight or this blue lit night, if you will, as you guys break off, you start to enter this wooded area, and you start to see the brush begin to come out at you as if the very forest is thickening the farther and deeper that you get into it. Go ahead and give me a survival roll here as you are rushing through this thick forest. Perfect, 13. So as you guys are navigating, you kind of look out, and very quickly you catch a glance at the figure that was standing directly to your right, and as it jumps, from behind one tree to the next, a low-hanging branch sort of catches his hood, and as it flips back, you catch a glimpse of a very familiar face, and it is Leon. As you guys are dashing through, and now it starts to hit you that, oh, I remember this. You and the Nightweavers making your way to your designated target, searching out a group that has been perpetrating some unmotherlike actions here in the golden hours, and as you guys come up to the perceived location of where this hideout is to be, in one moment, you see two of your allies take 3 arrows to the chest, 2 hitting one and then the other taking one in particular. Go ahead and give me a perception check really quick to see if you can detect where these shots are coming from.
Am I still damaged at this point or no?
No, you're okay. Yes, your body is full here. You don't have any damage. Yeah, that 15. So you look out and you see from out past the trees, several people start to come out of the thicket. And it is now clear that you guys were not only being followed, but led into some trap. And as you look over to where Leo once was, you can see him slowly darting off into the distance, away from the party. And the last glimpse that you see as you guys are running away is the temple in the back, ablaze like a brazier lit in the dark night. And as you stand there and you watch as one by one your allies are combating with these individuals who are appearing out of what appears to be nowhere through the darkness and in the forest, you hear the sound of footsteps coming up behind you. What do you do?
I try to like get to a spot where like I am where I am
right
like
up on you. What are you doing? They're right. It sounds like somebody is rushing up on you. What are you doing right now?
I turn to confront the people that are rushing me.
As you turn, you feel a whoof feeling of somebody that grabs you suddenly and pulls you in extremely close, and they place their hand over your mouth. What do you do?
I look up to try to figure out who this person is.
As you look up, it is a very familiar face that you see. Ignore this picture, this is just the background, but you look up and the hand that is holding your face is a very familiar one, is a stern and serious. Shh, my child, be silent. As your father pulls you into your secret hideaway underneath the home that you share here. Your mother hasn't been around for some time. Dad has been telling you that it's part of work, it's part of the job. But right now is the time that you need to become a man. Your training has been going well, going pretty decent. Occasionally while you guys are out, your dad will cause or stir up some mischief and dart off in a location just to see how well your hiding skills are improving. But in this moment, as he pulls you in to the cupboard and goes, shh, you hear outside of your little hovel, she did not provide any information about his whereabouts. However, I'm sure that he must be here. Nevertheless, as long as we have the girl, we will bring the man as well. Take her to dry dock. She will fetch a pretty price on the markets. And should he show up, oh, that would be all the better. Men, Continue your search. I will not be satisfied until every single cupboard, tile, and piece of furniture is flipped within this squalid thing they call a home. Get to it. As you hear outside the crashing of all of your belongings and all of your treasured items that you have brought with you, you know, to this place. And with every slam of glass or memorabilia or the sound of a broken toy or family heirlooms being tossed around, you start to get a feeling of anger, of powerlessness that your dad has sworn to you that is way beneath the Nightshade name. And he can detect that you are getting upset, and he starts to hold on to you tighter. He keeps his hand over your mouth and he looks at you in the eyes, and his face starts to calm a bit. As you close your eyes to try to escape this moment, you feel yourself putting both hands over your ears to try to blot out the sound of your life being turned upside down outside of this little place that you are calling safety. And as you start to drown out the crashes, the sounds of destruction, when you open your eyes again, you see daylight. You see the waves crashing in over the white sandy beaches on the shores of Singhorn. As you look out, you see your father and Moga having a discussion, and they've been talking for about 10 minutes as your dad instructed you to kind of sit here as they go and have a little chat. As you sit here on the beach as a young Oralos Jr., you notice there are some crabs that are kind of crawling up on the white sands. Occasionally, with the flow of the waves hitting the beach, you will notice a little bushel of seaweed will come in and get stuck on a small rock as they're having this discussion, and they appear to be very intent, staring each other both into the eyes, haven't broken eye contact for a moment. Younger Ralos, what would you like to do while you're chilling on the beach?
As he's like watching his dad and Moga kind of have like this conversation, he acts like he's like playing with like these crabs as he tries to like sneak up and try to get closer to like try to hear what they're saying.
Yeah, give me a sleight of hand or a stealth check.
That is gonna be a 23.
Yeah, so you very slowly, almost crab-like, begin to like creep up on this crab, and you're almost like crab walking, trying to emulate, your surroundings, taking in different lessons that your father's taught you about, building rapport and blending in with your surroundings as you very sillily kind of incorporate this into this animal ritual here as you kind of make your way over towards the crab, and you manage to put your hand on it, and you pick it up, and its legs are going in and out, as it's trying to escape your grip, and occasionally it like reaches out and clumps with a claw.
Am I able to hear anything from sneaking up closer to my dad? Because I'm gonna sneak up closer to them.
Oh yeah. So as you are sneaking up, oh, so you're pretending and you're sneaking up. So as you're like crowd walking over,
Yeah.
go ahead, give me a perception check as you do manage to get really close, and you're gonna catch like the last piece of this conversation.
Shit, that's an 11.
Yep. He says something to your to Moga in he says something to him in Orcish that you're still learning your Orcish. So he says something to him in Orcish as your dad, very perceptive, you know, the Nightshade man is, kind of detects you creeping up. He doesn't make note of your sneaking, as by this stage, you know, this is before, at this stage, this is like before you become really confident in your ability. So he's still trying to help you build up that confidence, almost like, you know, when a lion cub sneaks up on his mother. So he allows you to kind of get close, but he says something in Orcish to Moga that unfortunately you do not understand with that role. But as
He kind of
looks
like
over to you, he says, "Son, what is it that you are doing?"
I am playing with the crabs. That is all. What is it that you're doing, Father? What are you and Uncle Moga talking about?
Yes, playing with the crabs. That is a very nice excuse, my son. That will hold up in court, I'm sure. Me and your uncle, we are discussing. Come, son. There's something I want to talk to you about.
As Aralos gets up and like kind of like dusts the sand off of me and follows him.
All right, as you guys start walking along the beach, you guys walk for some moment, you know, with Moga and your dad on either side of you. And he goes, you haven't seen your Uncle Moga in some time. It's been quite a few years there, Ralos. Hey. Young boy's grown up quite a bit. Good to see him, looks strong. Looks like he's fit to hold his dad's shoes, yeah? Slow down, Moga. Ralos is becoming a man. Son, do you remember that job that we talked about? Your mother, what she was doing?
Yes, Father. But you never told me what it was. Just that she was going to be away for a while.
Yes. See, my son, you understand type of work, and your mother, well, turns out she's going to be needing my assistance. And so, I will be going to find her and help her. I received a letter asking her for me to meet her in Dry Dock. Do you remember Dry Dock, son?
Dry dock. I think so. Yeah,
Yes.
dry dock. Yes. We've been there a few times.
Yes. So I'll be going for some time now. But I'll be leaving you with your Uncle Moga. He is going to continue your training. And hopefully by the time I'm back, you will be a fitting pirate.
But can't I just go with you? Wouldn't it be better to continue my training on a mission?
This job requires a certain level of, how do you say, disposition, secrecy. And at this time, I cannot burden myself with the idea of bringing you on such a task that you may not be ready for. And in fact, at this time, you've already surpassed even myself when I was your age. And so I've been in talks with your uncle. And he will be continuing your training, and you will learn, well, some skills that maybe even I would not have been able to teach you. Isn't that right, Moga? Oh, that's right.
I mean, Uncle Moga's fun and everything, but I'm disposed. I can hold secrets. Like I haven't even told anybody about your stuff. Yeah, I can hold secrets.
Zach, do you see? This is what I'm talking about. Now,
Fine.
I have a little nugget for you. If you must have some information, my son.
Okay. What is it?
Do you know why our family is special?
We have the Raven Queen and the Moonweaver. They watch over us
Yes. And son, why does that make us special?
because most people don't have the honor or the blessings of two gods. We, on the other hand, were blessed by them both in a very special way that most people do not even get from following their own god.
That's my boy. So, I'm going to do something for God, son. And when I return, she will continue to bless us tenfold.
Okay. So when do I get to meet her? I want to know who she is too.
You will get to meet her. Have you been practicing your Sehanins?
Yes, I have obviously. Sehanin, Sehanin.
And the laments, do you have them with you?
Yeah. As he starts to like rummage through like his pockets, and he pulls out a little paper, and he like kind of like is like looking at. He's like, in the shadows hold, where the light can't tread, Sarah forged a blade for the doomed and the dead. From sorrow's core and grief so deep, Shadow Gleam was born where shadows weep. It's right here, Father. I have it.
Yes, yes. I see. Make sure you keep that on you. Remember, son, this is what connects us. We are her chosen. And this sword, this blade, well, that is the blessing we seek. And once we have it, we will have the ability to right all the wrongs of this land. The accursed calendar, the blasphemous gods. I will make it all right, Aralos.
Am I going to see you anytime soon?
All you gotta do is look in the mirror, young one. You look just like him. As Moga chimes in real quick.
Do you really think so, Uncle Moga? As he like kind of like grabs his hair that's kind of short still. It's like kind of just starting to like go past his ear, kind of. Do you really think so?
Is he very quiet to anybody else?
About to say, hey, Robert, it sounds you got real far away, bro.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're like 100 miles from your mic.
Sorry, I didn't turn my interface. As he goes,
No, you good.
Of course, you spit an image of him when he was your age. In fact, well, might even look better. And you'll be prettier than him by the time you're grown. You'll have the girlies all over you. I'll told you about the horned ones later.
The horned ones, that doesn't sound very
Moga,
fun.
he's far too young.
Okay.
Ah, brother. How old were you when you took your first winch, eh? It's about time the boy wet his wee-wee. Moga! This is not the time. This is a serious moment. Son, no. I will be gone for some time. But whenever you wish to think of me, look to the sky. And when you see the blue, just know that I'm watching with you.
As he looks up at the blue and kind of like stares at it for a moment.
You can see it clearly in the sky.
Just look at the blue, and you are watching.
And as you look up at the blue, when you look down, you are back on a familiar ship. You here holding the sail, two-man vessel. Behind you, you hear your uncle call out, "Oralos! Hold the sail tight, boy. These are rough waters."
As he's up there like holding on to like the mast and holding on to this at the same time. I'm holding on as good as I can. And that kind of starts to like strain a little bit.
Oh, I know reviving's gonna be dangerous, but I didn't think you'd die on the way there, boy.
These seas cannot kill me, Moga. You know this. I am the son of Nightshade. It would take much more than that.
Son of Nightshade, son of Nightshade this, son of Nightshade that. You are nephew of Moga, the pirate boy. Your father's not here. Now hold the sail.
As he kind of like scoffs at him and just keeps on holding it up there. Kind of like pull it over his shoulder to like get more leverage.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a strength check here.
Yeah. Where did it go? Just a straight chain? Just a straight train throw?
Yeah, just a straight
All right.
Yep.
All right, cool. Ability check. That is a 13.
Yeah, so as you are holding onto the sail, the wind kicks up. It starts to blow, and it catches the sail, and it starts to try to turn you guys a little bit to the southeast. And he's like, "I said south, boy, south. Do you understand your cardinal directions? Or I got to stop learning."
Yes, Moga. Yes, Moga, I hear you. As he tries to like pull it in closer to correct the angle.
Yeah, and you pull it in, and you pull the boat back down south. And as you head down, he says, "All right, boy. It's going to be about 20 minutes of rough waters. Can you handle yourself, or do I need to take over?"
Come on, old man. We both know I am more suited for this than you.
And as you guys start to make your way, you come in to the rough waters, and the boat begins to ride up a 5-foot wall of water before splashing down into a low valley, and the sea kicks up over the edges of the boat, and it goes, "Boy, you're steering us right into the storm!"
You said south. I went south. Maybe you can captain better.
Boy! Oh! Listen! Turn us back east quickly! We've got to get out of this mess before we get taken over to Tornadon.
as he maneuvers his way up there on the mast to pull back towards the east.
You guys are fighting with this storm as the waters begin to whoosh, kick up and whoosh, kick up, and he goes, Ralos! Turn us back east now before we are taken into the sea! As you look, and there are just giant waves on the horizon beginning to make their way towards this tiny ship, this two-man vessel that you guys are on, and the wind begins to kick up, and you can see the clouds above you swirling, and in the midst of one of the clearings, the blue is there in view. And as the storm begins to swirl up around you, we cut back to our folks. Mace and York. As you guys have now made your way from the outpost, your full party in tow, after some tense negotiations with some of the guards here regarding the situation of the cultists. You, Kaylin, Hollow, Alara, Brutus, and your two new Dragonborn companions, Egon and Asha, are making your way down the Slim Sea. As you look over the starboard side of the boat, you can see that there are two vessels that are connected by large towing ropes that are connected to the ships of your newfound party members as they're being kind of dragged behind you in tow. As Alara looks over the edge, she goes, I dream of the sea. Whew, this is so much more comfy than our stuffy little boat here. Irith? Hey, Brudith, where'd Irith go? I assume he's gone downstairs. Said he wanted to see about that Asha character. Take a look at some of those dragon-slaying weapons that they're selling. Still slaying those dragon-slaying weapons, are they? As you guys look out, and Kaylin and Egon are deep in talks, kind of discussing what appears to be some fancy-looking lance, almost harpoon-like, with what appear to be horns poking out in the opposite direction of the weapon's spear tip point. Look like barbs that are connected to some giant harpoon. He's like checking out this gear, and him and Kaylin are deep in talks. York, you are standing over Morales' body as he is like laid out here on the deck of the ship. You guys didn't want to put him underneath in the bed because you weren't going to be able to watch him since everybody's up on deck. As Mace, you are discussing with Paulo about the course, as you can see that there appear to be some dark clouds brewing on the horizon, and you guys are discussing which way you should go to try to best get to the island of Primos and make it to your destination. As Paulo calls out to you, says, I'm not too worried about this storm. This old baby, it gets through everything that we've thrown it at us. The Slim Sea is no match for the Swallowtail.
Hey, whatever you say, I can't get rid of this unnerving feeling that this storm might be a little bit more than we can handle.
How often you been on boats, mate?
Well, back when I was younger, I used to be on there a little bit.
Those are storm clouds, yes, but rough waters are no problem for a large vessel such as this. If we were on those small little tugboats back there, then perhaps I'd break a sweat, but it should be no problem for the old baby. Rest your shores. We'll be making landfall in Primos within about half a day or so.
Oh, okay.
As you guys look out, Mace, you look over kind of like the rampart area. You can see York is there kind of observing Moralos as he is still asleep here on the deck of the ship. Alara standing over, kind of just taking in the general vibe and taking in the ocean as the sun begins to go across, you know, the back of the Big Blue as you guys prepare for the first night. For tonight, as you guys pass within that area, what would you guys like to do here on the vessel?
We could. Is the guy still tied up? Where's the guy that's tied up? Yeah.
Yep, so he is tied up down in the hold. There's a nice little area where Apollo has to keep their would-be prisoners.
Okay. I'll go downstairs to them, to him. I'll just say to Mace. I'll try to see what other information we can get. We can get out of this guy as I get up and try to go to downstairs where he's locked up or trapped or whatever.
All right. Good luck.
Let me move my character. Oh. Did I do the right place or am I in the wrong place?
No, yeah, you're in the right place. So he is in the back, so I'll move you down to where he is.
Ah, okay. I don't know if you want to cut to Mace or you want to stay with me. I'm just gonna try and interrogate him.
Oh yeah, so we'll cut back up to Mace. Mace is York says that he's gonna go downstairs to speak with the cultists. He kind of trots off down the stairs, and you look out. You see Paulo, Kalen up here. There's also Egon and Alara who are hanging out, and Brutus is chilling on.
I guess this is the perfect moment to like talk to them about a plan.
For sure.
Okay, so look, do I just shout this or do I just go to like either I can go up to like one of them and then like get them to
Up to
huddle
you.
in or
Yeah,
something?
if you want to call like a little short meeting with everybody that's up here, you can do that. Or you can go talk to Paulo one-on-one, or kind of gather information from everybody on what they know, things like that.
All right, everybody, I need to talk to y'all about a plan. We're gonna huddle up by Paulo so that way he can keep doing his thing while we talk. Is that all right with everybody?
Yeah. Everybody looks over. You see Brutus kind of shrugs his shoulders, starts walking with you. Alara looks over the edge and she makes her way over near Paulo and sits down on the bench. Egon and Kalen take a short break. They take a second. They listen to you as you speak. They go on talking for a little bit as you guys make your way up to the captain's area. Everybody's sort of gathered around, and then you see Kalen and Egon slowly make their way to where you guys are up on the area. So everybody's up here. Moralos is still laying down on the deck. He's good, just passed out, while you guys are having a little group huddle near the captain.
All right, so Paulo, where'd the ship go?
Holy shit!
We're drowning.
Yeah, this is it right
I can't swim. What type of magic is this?
As the ship comes back, whoa!
We're drowning again.
Hey, this a crazy designated attack, bro.
Gee, the
They done
kid's
turned our-
definitely dead.
This is the exact moment that we got hit by the storm in my dream. This is the exact moment.
Oh, you know what's crazy? The ship is interacting with the stair, so it keeps teleporting downstairs.
Ah.
Every second.
As G the kid's unconscious body drowns at the bottom of the ocean.
Yo, is my fan loud in the back? I had to turn it on. It's getting hot in my crib.
No, I don't hear anything.
Oh, there we go. All right, we'll do it again. Hey, so Paulo, can you tell us a little bit about the weaknesses, or at least your encounter with what is it, Diak Pandemic?
You
Got
say
any,
weaknesses?
Yeah, any vulnerabilities, anything that you've seen when you come into contact with him?
Yeah, like, does he have any, like, weak spots? Like, places where he might be, like, I don't know, like, missing scales or, I don't know, does he sleep a lot? Come on, tell us what you know. This dragon is, well, one second. I'm gonna roll a history check with Paulo.
Oh my God, if this man rolls low, I'm literally going to, 200-year-old, like, what, dwarf? Oh my.
Yeah, so he,
Oh man.
well,
Hey.
I can tell you about red dragons. Red dragons are quite evil. They hoard gold. They love the vast looting and lording of wealth. And, well, they are quite powerful. So, we should honestly be prepared. And usually, I would travel with a party of about 20 for this mission. However, seeing as we have one of the 10 with us, I'm sure that we will be able to make way, as he should stand for 10 men himself. But unfortunately, the bad news is Diak is a very, very powerful dragon. A very large dragon, in fact. He swooped down on us like a thief in the night and set everything ablaze. There were quite a lot of ships in the bay that day, and, well, this old baby was the only one to make it out. So, that says a lot for our vessel here. She's quite lucky, but it also says a lot for his ability. We need to be strategic. We need to be swift. We need to be prepared to do whatever it takes to make it out alive.
Can you tell us a little bit about his, like, whereabouts, like the terrain? Is he, like, in a cave, in a wasteland? Is, like, where would we be seeing him?
Yes. In the mountains of Drakthor, near the Bay of Slaves, as they call it. I would assume that you may have heard of the city of Thorgan. Yes.
A couple times here and there.
Well, let me take you all the way back. When the world was young, and all children came out of Primos, the dragons were the first to assign each its kind. Fearsome and mighty they were. None would stand to test their might or their rule. And so, each species was named. You, Goliath, I presume, Mace, and you human here, and us, the elf. We get our name from the dragon. And so it would be, they are quite intelligent, quite ancient. The mountains of Drak Thor are home to several of their broods, homes, caverns. In fact, I've taken quite a few men on a few number of times to hunt wyvern and worm alike, and on occasion you might find a young dragon that has stumbled a little bit too far from its roost. Now, young dragon teeth fetch a fair price on the open market, but an adult dragon, that is where the money is. A company of 15 to 20 men can take down one fairly easily. You would need archers with great bows and magical weapons, of course, and fire resistance is a must in the fire affinity. However, being is that there are so many dragons, must be ready and prepared for all manner of elemental effect. The Diak. Oh, Diak. No, he is no wormling nor young drake or wyvern or worm. He is no adult dragon. This beast is a dragon of ancient descent. One whose name rings through the testament of time. A name so old that, in fact, it is changed several times, I would imagine. Far beyond this age or the last. But Diak killed my men. 20 good swallowtails died that day, and dozens more Harangue met their fate. And so I do not go into this test with fear. No. I go into it with resolve. For as you see, all along this path, we have been guided with whatever force has brought us together. What was once two, Kaylin and I have become five. And what was once five is now 10. And so I believe there will be more that we will encounter on the way. But this dragon will be a test. As it starts to like stare off into the distance, and everybody kind of around you, you guys notice that everybody's like staring at him, pretty much. And Laura goes, "Okay, so big dragon. All right."
I was thinking I had a plan. It depends on the terrain, but if we get over to the mountains like you said it is, and whatever it may be, I was hoping to use the terrain to, like, I don't know, distract them, lock them in, allow us to be able to attack some of his vulnerable spots. I don't care if you're a dragon or a human. I imagine, like, hitting someone in the mouth, hitting someone in the heart, hitting someone on the foot, or shooting them in the eyes or the nose would pretty much hurt, like, all the same. So I was hoping, if it was possible, if we were in the middle of a battle and we get some openings, I use my strength to cause an avalanche, or use whatever boulders is around us, or whatever it may be. So that way we have an opening to shoot them, and then we create a weakness of our own. If we can't see the weakness, we create the weakness. So if we shoot him in the area of his nose, the nostril, and we see that's effective, we keep aiming at that spot. We shoot him in the eye, and we notice that it'll be that way, we go that way. Personally, I would hope to aim for the eyes because if they're, I imagine even if it's very powerful, not being able to see would probably hinder it. Whatever else it probably has to see, I don't know. But I was hoping that y'all would be able to think about this plan and like it a little bit.
Aiming for the eyes. Classic.
or the nose.
Oh, as Brutus speaks up. So, you say this thing's big, right? How big we talking? Big. As Caitlin chimes in from the back. When he first arrived, he blotted out the sky. Okay. Hold up now. Y'all didn't say we was going to fight no ancient dragon. So what's the catch? You gotta have some secret weapon. Yes, we do. It is this one. As he points to the passed out Oralos. Yeah, but like this ring and that one? I mean the guy that's passed out on the boat? What's he supposed to do that's so special? Well, honestly, I don't know. But what I can tell you is, if he is as powerful as I've been told, and if this ring is as powerful as I've been told, then it will make a way. So you guys are putting your whole eggs in the basket of one guy?
Well, I'm coming over with a plan because this one seemed to be knocked out. I don't know, the situation has changed, and so I'm not putting all my eggs in no basket that can't even wake up.
Yeah, I'm with this one. I like the idea of so what'd you say? We collapse the.
We either collapse, like whatever is in the terrain around us, we use it to be able to fight against this thing. And then we create openings for ourselves to fight it. If this one that was not asleep was awake, it'd be a lot easier. Could probably do something about like any of the senses or whatever, but unfortunately, he's asleep. He's knocked out. So we have to create our own opening.
So, what if it decides to take off and fly? What do we do at that point? As Brutus calls out.
That's where I believe we're going to have to find. Well, it depends on where we're at, actually. If we're outside, then we might be actually pretty messed up. It has what type of, like, look at Pablo, like, what type of attacks did it have? Does it, like, breathe, like, does it breathe fire like a regular dragon, or is it, like, magical or something?
Fire breath, claws, large teeth, standard dragon.
Then yeah, I imagine that if it flies and we're out in the open field, it just gotta just come in, breathe breath, and we die. But if we can figure out how to get in an enclosed space and encapsulate that enclosed space, we could use it as cover whenever it's about to try to attack us. And that's what I have in plan. I don't know what the area looked like anyways.
Okay, so I have something to contribute. Can I tell them? Yes, these are comrades, tell them. Okay, so she starts telling you about her bow, and she goes, she pulls out what appears to be a magical bow, and it is the bow that she purchased from the sea folk merchant. And as she holds it up, so I will show it to you guys. You see as she pulls at the string, what appears to be like a dark void emanates around her hand, and she goes, "Woo!" and lets it go. She goes, "Okay, that was scary. Hold on. Let me try one more time." And she pulls it back, and as she reaches, full draw with this bow, it is clear that she has some sort of dark energy that is emanating from the back. She says, "Apparently, when I let this thing go, it should." And she fires off an arrow off into the distance, and you watch as the arrow hits this area within the sea, the water around it begins to suck in and form a whirlpool that instantly drains like 5 feet of water down into the ocean in this one spot very quickly, and then it disappears. And she goes, "Woo! Yeah! All right, that is powerful. Now, I think I can use this to maybe, pull down some rocks or something. Think that could help?"
Yeah, that's perfect, actually.
She's super excited about testing out this new sleek weapon. You guys begin to talk and discuss over several different plans. People have different ideas. Everybody's kind of showing off their stuff. Brutus pretty much discusses how he pretty much gets loud and angry and gets stronger, while Paulo and Kalen talk about how they have a lot of experience with dragons, and honestly at this point it's really hard to determine what a plan would be without knowing exactly what the lair looks like. The lair being the key to understanding how to combat this dragon, and once you guys can find the layout, the best strategy would then present itself. And as you guys are discussing this, we cut down to York, who is having a nice conversation with the cultists, as for like the 10th time he's like,
I'm not answering your questions. You cannot intimidate me with your ugliness.
Oh, you're the one to talk. You have jokes now. And he's still tied up, right?
yeah, he's still tied up. Like,
Okay. Oh. And I take my sword and I kind of put it on his shoulder. I don't stab him, or I put him there, and I say, "You said you had others with you that will pop out of nowhere. Where are these others that you said they will back you up?"
Oh.
Very keen one, yes, very keen.
Why?
Are you afraid? Are you afraid that we may be watching you?
Afraid? Isn't everyone afraid of the unknown? I mean, you're afraid that. I assume you're afraid right now, and I know what I'll do with the sword.
Go ahead, roll me an intimidation check with advantage.
Let me- How do I accept it?
Should you be able to click it in the chat and roll it, or I can roll it?
Okay. I got, how do you check? I got 14.
You got 14, nice. Okay, so he goes,
Yes. Why, there will be those that hear what you have done, taking you from my post. I have already sent out word with my feelers, who know where I am at all times. You are being tracked, and you do not even know it. Foolish one.
trapped. If I'm trapped, what's stopping us from keeping you alive? From not keeping you alive.
Why, I'm the only one that knows the answer to your friend's ailment. How will you heal the young elf without my knowledge?
We gotta keep you alive. Doesn't mean we have to keep you in one piece.
Wait. Hold on. No. I.
So you better start
need to stay
answering
in
our
one
questions.
piece.
That can be arranged if you start answering our questions. That's all up to
What
you.
is your question?
Well, the biggest question is, how do we cure our friend of whatever you've given him?
I've already told you. It's not power that I am capable of wielding.
You just told me you have the answers to curing them, and you're telling me you can't do it?
No, I'm taking you to them. Or I will. You are ready.
Who? You and your riddle. Who is them? Why are you being all mysterious?
What are you asking him?
Who is them? Who is them that he's been all mysterious about?
Like his god? He's like talking about like Zehir and the other cultists.
He said he's gonna lead us to these people. Okay.
Oh,
So let me
yeah,
ask you.
yeah. So he told y'all that he was gonna take y'all to the mage, the person that he knows that can heal him of the poison. Okay, so you're asking
Oh,
like,
okay.
who that person
Okay,
is.
okay,
So
okay. Okay.
that's gonna be like a persuasion, like another intimidation. To see
Oh,
if
okay,
you can do that
okay.
information.
And I forget what he looks like. Is he like what type of like class, like he's not human, but like what is he? Is he an elf?
He has coverings over his face. You guys have not looked at his face yet.
Okay. Can I take the coverings off? But he's tied up, he can't stop me.
Yeah. You want to take the covering off his face?
Yeah.
Yeah. As you lift it up, he appears to have like a serpentine look, but it is very human. But the scales on his face are like lizard-like. He looks to be some like human, lizard, snake hybrid creature. It's not any creature that you're familiar with. The closest thing that you could probably compare it to is like one of your changeling buddies, like mid-transformation, like maybe turning into like some type of giant snake or something like that. Maybe you've seen a druid transforming it. Looks like some mid-transformation from some creature, but it's a very grotesque look. Malformed and mismatched, roughly put together.
Okay. Now this friend of yours, how do we know that soon you bring us to him, he won't try to free you and backstab us?
You don't.
Can I how do I do this? How do I oh, there it is. Can I do my blood curse of anxious to make him more scared and more susceptible to intimidation?
Yeah, go ahead and cast it.
Do I just click on it? I don't know if that
Yep, so you have
didn't.
advantage on charisma intimidation checks, so you want to try to intimidate him to telling you how you know that they won't die, that you guys won't die.
I wanna like intimidate and tell us like if he's planning to backstab us or like lead us into a trap. And I put the sword a little bit more deeper to his shoulder, like just slightly cutting him, not really. Just give him that pain. I say, you don't plan to betray us, are you? Because it can end very badly.
Of course not. I'm your prisoner. I am your prisoner. What would it do me to betray you?
I mean, you don't seem like a very trusting guy. You really have a split tongue. I let us make that joke.
Never seen one with a slit tongue, eh?
Hmm.
It's very, racist.
Oh, I did not mean to do that. All right.
Did you attack him?
Oh no, I clicked that by accident. Ignore that.
Okay.
Okay. Are you sure there's nothing else that you're hiding from us to try to gain an advantage? As I just try to intimidate him to give me more information. Where is
Yeah, I
where
don't-
is
you like you?
You
it's
can't
gonna
give
be
me no
tough
more?
to, like bully
Push
him
him.
into like giving up like all his info.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Okay.
Like it's like
Okay.
it's not like you can just beat the shit out of him until he tells you everything
Yeah.
he knows. Like sometimes people take secrets to their grave. You know?
Okay. Ah. All right, so okay. Okay, I take the sword back and I say, I see intimidation's not gonna work anymore. What would it take to gain your cooperation? Even your allyship. You seem like a man who just wants to survive no matter what.
Maybe not sticking your sword in my shoulder.
I mean, you did poison our friend. I think my actions are warranted.
He drank it of his own volition. He wanted to be baptized.
What is his baptism you talk about? Like
Would you
you
like
spew.
to see?
If see you mean tell, go ahead.
And he pulls out a vial and he says,
Drink. You will see.
Why don't you drink half of it first?
he drinks the whole thing.
He says, my eyes are already open. I am not bound by poisons. Or not poisons. I'm not bound by the effects of this tincture. This blood is a blessing to those that are baptized.
This is blood, you say? Whose blood?
The blood of a god.
So you're, would you call yourself a preacher of some sort?
I am a prophet.
A prophet has a message. What is your message?
He returns.
And as he says that, you hear a crack of lightning outside as the boat begins to shake. You hear a commotion going on upstairs as the cultist begins to
I put my
begins
hand
to
over his
hysterically
mouth.
laugh. And
To shut
you
him
feel
up?
the boat begin to rock as aboard the ship. You hear, "Ah! All hands on deck! This is trouble!"
If I find out this is because of you, my sword is gonna pierce more than your shoulder, and I run up to the commotion. Wait, okay.
Yep. So as you run upstairs, you see all of the members of your party on deck appear to be frantically running around on the deck of the ship, grabbing buckets, pulling down ropes, tying down sails. Captain Paulo holding the wheel of the ship sternly, trying to make sure that he is steering straight as the storm that was once on the horizon that Mace pointed out so long ago has finally made its way to your area, and the waves are kicking up. The 5-foot waves that are smacking the edge of the boat. You guys see the water splashes against the side of the Swallowtail and then heads vertical up in the air before sloshing down. And as you go over one of these huge waves, the boat tips back a bit before dipping down, and it's clear now that the ocean has become alive and the storm that was once so long ago is now pouncing upon you guys. Apollo calls out, "Big fella, grab the anchor! We gotta stop this thing!"
What I gotta roll? Strength save or strength? Like, what's going on with that?
Yeah, let's go ahead and roll a strength. It's gonna be at advantage because this is not fairly big.
Okay, let me go ahead and roll strength. Saving throw or ability check, by the way.
It's gonna be a saving throw.
All right, let me roll it one more time. So I got a 24 and an 18.
24 is perfect. So as you grab the anchor and begin to make your way over to the edge of the ship, what are you doing?
I'm going to pull it as hard as I can. I'm assuming that's what he needs me to do.
Yes.
I just go, Paulo, I'm trying my best. As I go grab it to pull it as hard as I can or stabilize it.
Yep. So you begin pulling it, trying to drag it back up, and as you guys begin to let the sails loose, as you see as Alara and Brutus are very handy on the ship. They're very familiar with tackling on a storm. They begin to open up all of the sails to try to catch the wind to get into this storm. You guys are going to take it head on. York, you arrive on top of the deck and you see Maces pulling at the anchor, attempting to get you guys to a position where you can better freely move across the seas. The sails are now being opened up. You see everybody is frantic across the ship as Paulo is calling out different directions to different folks. What are you doing?
I yelled to Paulo, Paulo, what can I do?
York! Go downstairs. Check below deck. It feels like we're taking on water. Mace is pulling up the anchor, but we can't seem to catch any speed.
Got it. I'll check it, and I run downstairs. And what do I see?
Yeah, as you run downstairs, you can see that both Asha and Irith are in the corner, and they're both trying to plug different holes in the side of the ship where water seems to be coming in. And occasionally you'll see that a little spot will pop open on the side of the boat, and water will start to stream in, and another nail will kind of pop out, and water will start to stream in. As they look over to you and they say, "Grab a bucket!" Irith, who is normally very calm, cool, and collected, is appearing to be frantic as once again a lightning bolt crashes down and strikes the side of the ship. And very peculiar that lightning would strike twice in the same area, nevertheless the same boat traveling across the seas, as now water begins to again rush in through the side of the vessel. York, what would you like to do as you see the water begin to flow in to the boat?
Is it flowing in by, is there the hole on the floor or on the side?
Yeah, the hole is on the side right here.
Okay.
So you see water kind of pouring in where Asha and Irith are both up farther near the front of the boat, both trying to plug different holes, scooping up buckets and toss them to each other. You see Irith was like running back and forth to the stairs and kind of tossing water out from beneath here.
Okay, I just try to grab a bucket and try to empty as much water as I can.
Yeah, go ahead, give me a dexterity save. Let's see how efficient you are at bucketing up.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay. Yeah, so you apparently have an affinity for the aquatics, and you grab a bucket and you grab a hammer and you begin to just rush around the ship. And with every strike of the hammer, you are determined and you are patching up the boat and fixing the various holes that seem to be appearing. And as you kind of make your way to what looks like the largest hole, you kind of gesture over for Irith and Asha. You begin instructing them on the best ways to kind of get the water out. And you guys form what appears to be some sort of like assembly line, where as you are fixing this large patch in the side of the boat, Asha is scooping and handing buckets to Irith, who is now quickly taking water upstairs. And you guys are very quickly managing to kind of scoop out all of the water down here as you begin to start to patch this up. And we cut back up to Mace on the deck of the ship as you now have pulled the anchor up, and you guys appear to be moving as it seems like there's been a change in the pace of the ship. As Paulo calls out, "Oh, that York! I knew he had something in him!" And you guys set sail into the storm. But as you look out, you can see that the clouds all across the horizon are the blackest of night. It is super dark, and the thunder and the lightning are loud and bright. And as you look over the horizon, the waves, the 5 foot waves that have been crashing into the side of the boat are no more, as you now see that there are 7 foot, 10 foot waves that you are now bounding over here in the Swallowtails. You guys are going up over these waves, attacking them head on. And as you take on one that is fairly large, you guys go up about a 12 foot incline before the boat crashes down into a deep valley where there are now some just smaller bumps. And Paulo calls out, "There's no way we're gonna make it to that now! We gotta find somewhere to put it down! The seas are gonna be too rough! Everybody, we're in for the long night!" As he sort of begins to relinquish any attempt to steer towards your previously assigned destination, opting to allow the sea to take you to where it needs you to go. And as you guys are now bounding through this storm, Ralos, you are also caught up in a storm right now. And as you and Moga are falling down the crest of this giant wave, the last thing you hear before the sound of rushing water and salt taste fills your mouth is, "Oralos! Hold your..." As the boat crashes into the deep, and you guys awake, washed up on a shore. And as you cough up from what's an apparent almost drowning at the hands of this mysterious storm that swept over, as you open your eyes, Moga reaches his hand down to try to grab you with your right hand. He reaches his right hand out to reach for you as you're laying down, apparently waking up from a short nap. And he has his hand over his mouth with a position. He goes, "Hey, come here. I got something to show you."
Other other kind of like looks around, like kind of like confused a little bit as he gets up. Takes his hand as he gets up. What is it, Mocha?
Hey, come here. The Weavers. I think we found them.
Where? How do you know?
As you and Moga started like trekking through, you're a bit younger than you recall from the previous memory, which throws you off a bit, as we're going back to your first time hunting, and you guys make your way, and you can see now that there's perched up on a large cliff. There appears to be a small family of freshly hatched wyvern wormlings that are perched up in their little cave within the side of this cliff face here. As you guys approach, you know, you're a bit stunned and awestruck as this is your first time kind of taking in one of these creatures as Moga pulls back the bushes and reveals, you know, this cliff face to you. And as you go to open your mouth, he goes, shh, 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 look. You know, he points up, and you can see the mom is circling above in the sky. Look at that.
It's magnificent.
Yes, respectable, yes. Too bad we're gonna kill the fucker, eh?
As he kind of puts his hand in his head, oh my God, Moga, you always know how to ruin a moment. It's just no wonder why your crew leaves you all the time.
Well, I don't want you getting soft on me. Had to check your temperature, mate.
So how do you want to do this?
But I say the babies will fetch a good price. A baby about 500 gold apiece for the teeth. For the wings, maybe 700. Got 4 babies. Got 1 big mother. That's a big fucker. There you go. Mother probably be about, yeah, maybe 5 platinum on a good day. We could go for her. But I say we get both, young one. You know how we're going to do that.
How do you suppose we do this, Moga? I am always ready to hear one of your crazy plans.
Tell me what you remember about dragons and morals.
Depending on their color, they have different affinities for different elements. They are very protective of their young in their nest. And they're very powerful and very difficult to kill with. Their scales are like steel armor.
Very good. Now, wyverns are like dragons or owls, except they're a little bit dumber. Meaning as they don't got the big brains or the second set of arms. However, what they do share in common, or what all the Recon share in common, my boy, is an affinity for the young. A wyvern will do whatever she must do to protect the babies. And so, the plan to get both is we set a trap, my boy.
It must be a very big trap, Moga. As he looked up at the wyvern one more time.
Ho ho ho. Well, it's going to be a big trap. But it's quite easy to set up. In fact, she's already set it up for us.
Azarello kind of looks around. I do not see the trap. Are you talking about the nest, Moga?
Yes, of course. Now, I'm a big man now. I can't stand in a nest and pretend to be a Drake babe like I used to back in the day. But you're pretty sneaky, bird. Perhaps you can crawl up in that nest and place this here. And he hands you what appears to be like some sort of device.
As he takes it and says, what does this do?
This right here. Sleeping gas.
We're just going to knock them out and kill them all?
Well, how else would you gonna do it?
I don't know, Moga. Big guy pirate like you thought you were just going to shoot it out of the sky or something like that.
No, not
As
the
he
idiot.
says, as he says, fine, fine. I will place this in the nest, and then we will wait for them to go to sleep. Any more words of advice, Moga?
Yes. If you get caught, run. But don't run this way, because I don't want to get caught with you. You're on your own. This is your first
Thank
big
you.
mission.
Typical Moga. As he takes it, as he starts to hide in the bush, as he goes towards the nest.
And as you start to make your way towards the nest, go ahead and give me a stealth check as you were like belly crawling in the bush, trying to stay out of sight with this wyvern that is flying above. Ooh, that was almost a
That's
nat
a 29.
Oh yeah, 29 is nasty. Yeah, so you get all the way up to the nest, and you see the wyvern wormlings are in there, and they're all kind of focused on each other, fighting over what appear to be various little scraps of food that was just dropped off. Appears like mom picked up some warthogs that were roaming around in the dense forest here, and they are like picking apart, blowing little fire bursts at each other as you kind of get to the nest. And you, as you were kind of crawling through the various thickets, you're like picking off various branches and leaves and kind of gillying up yourself to try to blend in with your surroundings here. And as you get up to the nest, and you can get a good look at all three of these wyvern babies, what would you like to do?
What color are they, and what color is the mom?
Yep, they look to be like a orangish brown color. But as the light kind of glints off of them, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Oh, shit, hold on. There we go. I actually took off my my proficiency. God damn it! That one.
Yeah, it appears to be like a reddish color.
All right. Okay. So as he kind of still like sneakily, he sticks the device in the nest. Kind of like he tries to get as close to the middle as possible, but he doesn't want to get too close, or he gets noticed.
Okay, nice. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check here.
Oh my god. That's a 26.
Yeah, so you manage to, as you like watching their, not patterns, but just watching their behaviors, you actually sit there and you, because you found the mother kind of magnificent, you kind of sit here and not study, but you take in the moment for a bit. Honestly, this was quite easy for you, probably easier than Moga thought it would be. And so as you like just very easily, you've been trained very well both under, you know, your father and your uncle. You very easily get up here. So you take a moment to kind of just chill and observe them for a second. And in your observations, you notice that very rarely do they even react from like birds or small animals, like interact with the outside of the nest. They are super focused on the food and competing between each other to make sure that they are getting the most of it. So you very easily kind of slide in the device and set it up. And as you sit it in there, what do you do then?
Are there any loose like scales on the floor that I can just like put in my pocket or something like that? Like a little like souvenir.
It looks like about 90, like a 90-degree rotation to your left. There is what appears to be like one of the eggs, and near it there are some kind of scales where it kind of set up like little nesting. You kind of do see that there are appear to be some scales. You would have to move over there, and it is getting closer to the blind ones.
Yeah, nah. I'll just wait till after we handle them later and just take one then.
Okay, cool. So do you go back?
Yeah, he goes back to Moga.
All right, and so you get back to Moga with those rolls. We'll say you get there just fine. And as you get back, he is still kind of waiting in the same spot. And he goes, "All right, good job. How much longer till it activates?"
Does it not activate on its own?
Did you not activate it, boy?
Ah, how do I activate it, small guy? I asked if there was anything else.
Ah. Well, it looks like you got to do it again. Got down there
How do
pretty
I
quick,
activate
though.
it, small guy?
Shouldn't be a problem. And
Is
he
it a
hands
button
you
that I'm
what
looking
appears
for?
to be like a key that he had before. He says, "Oh, forgot to give it to you. Here you go." And it's like a
Small
little kind of
guy.
what appears to be a little, um, yeah, it's like a key, but it's not in a key form. It looks like almost like a rectangular insert. And he goes up, "Oh, stick this in the input port."
As he like kind of snatch it from him. Maybe next time give me everything that I need before sending me on a mission.
But you always talk about how sneaky you are. Figure this wouldn't be a problem for you. Why don't you do it twice?
Yes, small guy. Do it twice. Do it twice. It's always do it again with you. As he prepares to go back and do it again.
All right, let's get the stealth and the sleight of hand. This time with advantage because you've done them.
Holy fuck!
Give me the sleight of hand.
God damn it! Here come the terrible roll. The sleight of hand is a 24.
Go ahead, roll it one more time. See if you get that 20. Might cancel out. All right. So you managed to get up there thinking that you are pretty sneaky, of course. And as you get up to the nest again, you start fumbling around with the thing. You put the chip in, and you see it start to shift a little bit, almost like a Rubik's Cube, sort of reshaping and relocking over and over again. And once more, the scales grab your attention, and you start to move over to the scales. And as you do, you sort of hit one of the bushes in such a way that it catches the attention of one of the small wyverns that kind of sticks his head over and starts to look, and you hear it kind of start to make its way over towards you as you're reaching for the scale, and you quickly duck down behind the nest to sort of avoid detection as this dragon or this wyvern is starting to make its way over. It's a small beast. It's about the size of like a large horse, if you will, or a bear. But the wings, of course, give it some additional width as you start to make your way. As it starts to make its way kind of over in your direction. What would you like to do?
Am I inside the nest, or am I like just outside of it? I'm
You're
like
just
laying
outside
down.
of it, kind of taking cover on the outside, like on the edge of the bowl.
How far am I away from Moga?
Moga is about a good walk away. It's about a 5-minute kind of stealth. It's about like a 7-minute stealth trip, about a 2-minute run.
Before I did what I did I see how much time was left on that thing?
So this is your first time seeing this device. You have no idea how much time is left. You just know you probably have enough time to get away. Hopefully, since Moga gave it to you, but honestly, you don't.
He be setting me up for failure sometimes. So I'm gonna try to like maneuver away to like a different side of like the nest. So like if the wyvern does like go to where I was, I'm at like I'm somewhere else, where I can try to like get to like a different area of like bush or something like that.
Yeah. So go ahead and as you start to move over, give me another stealth roll as the wyvern kind of makes its way over to your previous location. That was almost
It was a 23.
23. As you make your way over, it moves its head over the nest and starts to look. Does some big sniffs. Looks in your direction where you are now as you sort of take a peek and shift back, trying to like gauge it. And then it makes its way back to the nest and blows a little fireball. You can feel the heat kind of emanate from across the edge of the nest. Had its brothers and gets back into the thick of it with them. What are you doing?
And so he like kind of like takes like a deep breath and kind of like puts his like dagger away a little bit, and as he looks up to see if the mom is still like flying above.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
That is going to be a 13.
As you look up from this position that you're in next to the nest, you cannot see where she is. Her flight pattern has been like over the edge of the cliff, which is a little bit to the north of your position, with the nest kind of being a barrier from your vision of that general area.
Okay, so he's going to try to make his way back to Moga, but like slowly and like looking over his shoulder to see if he can like see the mom when he moves.
Yeah. So as you begin to make your way back, you look over your shoulder to the area where the mom was flying in the air, and you do not see her. As you turn back around in the direction of Moga, the mother wyvern comes swooping down and lands directly in your pathway. As it turns to you and begins to, you see as it opens its mouth, and a bright light begins to emanate from within its throat. What are you doing as it is charging up a fire breath at you?
I'm gonna roll out of the way. Actually, I'm gonna dodge roll towards it.
Okay, go ahead. Give me a acrobatics with disadvantage.
Oh shit! Fuck me, bro. These net ones, bro. It'd be so close to these net ones. I'd be getting scared. Okay, that's a 13 plus a 7. That's a 20.
What's funny is like on my screen, the other dice hit the one dice and turned it into
I saw that too. It gets on mine too. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
That's crazy. So as you do that, you start to dodge at the wyvern, thinking yourself very clever, trying to maybe get underneath it. As you come out of your roll, you see that the wyvern, which is a very intelligent creature, has only just kind of perched its neck up and made itself larger. As it looks down at you, now that you're like closer to it, it opens its mouth wide, and the last thing you see is a shadow appear and a silhouette as the sun is like in your eyes, and you hear the battle cry of your uncle as he jumps on the neck of this beast, and with that, the fire kind of burns out, and it does manage to kind of pass directly above your head, the heat being so hot that you close your eyes to kind of protect yourself not only from the light but from just the immense heat and pressure coming off of this blast. And as you open your eyes, you are following behind Moga through a jungle area. As he says, all right, now, you've been with me for some years now, youngin'. And I must say, while at first, being around you was a lot like being around your dad when he was your age. A bit of a knowing fucker. A bit of a pretentious brute. A bit of an asshole. I must say, you're a lot like the son that I wish I had, Dorados. But today, you become a man. And you will go and follow in your father's footsteps. But there's nothing else for me to teach you. Your abilities have far matched my own. So here we are, as he takes you through the clearing, and as you guys now back home on the island are traveling through this forest thicket up on this hill, you look over the mountain or the hilltop, and what you can see is the temple of the Moonweaver, the temple of Sehanin, sitting as it always has, right here within the mountaintops in the forest of Singhorn, with the blue clearly in view in a perfect crescent phase. He goes, now, go. I cannot go any farther. This is your pilgrimage. And he hands you back your laments that he's been holding on to. And he tells you to go off to the temple.
Zarello's like pat like holds his shoulder. It says, Moga, these years that I've spent with you, I will never forget them. I will never forget the times that you put me in danger, the times that you gave me half full instructions, half concocted machines, threw me out to the wolves. It is a wonder that you have made it this far without us. But everything that you have done has helped me become the man that I am today. And you were always there to catch me if I fell. And for that, I cannot thank you enough. When you see my father, tell me that the next time that I see him, it would be as equal as a man. And I look forward to it. As he gives him a hug before he and pulls him away and looks at him. Before
And he
yeah.
gives you a hug back. He says, well, I'll be waiting for you here when you return. And I'll see you off at the docks.
As he takes his lament, puts it back into his pocket, the same one that he had it in as a kid, and he starts to go towards the temple.
And as you make your way to the temple, it is typically, as it always is, not as populous as most of the temples in Tungra. Sehanin and the Moonweaver being a faith that is not lost, but just seldom worshipped in the age of Damon. And as you make your way down to the temple, the doors are open for you, and you can step inside as within this phase and this of the moon and of this particular season and night, the light is shining and hitting the door in a particular way that just seems like the light kind of shines through the opening of the door and presents you. It's kind of like in sync with the phase of everything. So it presents you with this nice image of a crescent light directly on the floor as you enter in.
Before he walks in, he looks up at the blue and he says, he is watching. As he walks into the temple.
As you walk into the temple, it is empty. There is not a single person in here, but there are several scrolls kind of set about on their own stands in different areas of the building. And as you walk in, you are immersed and then immersed in the light of the blue and of the twilight. Go ahead and roll me a history check to see what you remember about these scrolls.
My history's terrible. 15.
Okay, 15. So as you go up to one, it is the lament that you are so familiar with, and it reads exactly as it always has, but one particular passage seems to draw your attention. typically in your studies, you kind of are focused on the beginning pieces of Sarah forging the blade and it being a sin or a curse, if you will. And as you look, this particular reading of the lament seems to focus on verse 4, and it talks about, locked away in midnight veils graphs, shade gleams power in time class, a legend now hidden from sight, its story whispered in the dead of night. The blade rests still in Gabriel's eye, waiting for the day when shadows fly. For when fate calls and the darkness bends, shade gleam will rise as the new world descends. And as you take in this reading and you look, and you kind of start to now examine the stand that this scroll is on, you see different portraits of the various owners of the Shade Gleam sword. One particular motif illustrates a depiction of Sarah forging the blade within the depths of the Shadowfell, imbuing the shadow magic and the sorrow into it. And then another one, it shows Asmodeus clutching the blade and appears to be ripping it from the Shadowfell in a very epic motif of him grasping and defiantly leaving with the sword in tow. And another depicts Asmodeus offering in a contract. So he has the blade in one hand and the contract in another hand, and he appears to be making a wager with an individual, a motif that, go ahead and run me another history check here.
Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that twice. I got a 20 though.
20.
That's crazy. That's crazy, but the 20 came in first though.
Yeah, we got you with the 20. So it is a depiction of
That's
it is a depiction of what appears to be, strangely, the circus ringmaster from Luda's Bay, who is having a barter with Asmodeus. And this puzzles you for some reason. You're familiar with the ringleader Barnabas while you were in Luda's Bay with your Dragonborn king Kavith, and for some reason he seems to be depicted within this temple on this motif here. And then the next depiction shows that same individual handing the blade to Damon, who has a mischievous look on his face, a grin of deception, and an aura of corruption behind him. And then altogether, the final motif shows what appears to be some sense of recycling, with the blade then being returned back to Sarah, and it appears the cycle starts over again. And as you look out, there are other scrolls in here. With that nat 20, I'll say that you could try to pick another one if you like to pick from. There appear to be 3 different statues. One of them, which is colored in a fiery style of build. The architecture has a sense of infernal heritage to it. Another appears to be floating on a web of shadows, just a bed in a mist, a miasma. And then the other appears to be suspended in magical energy, the weave, the energy that you know of that allows magic to be wielded by Tungrans here on the planet. The depictions that you've seen within various books appear to kind of replicate what you're seeing here, with the weave appearing to like manifest itself underneath this scroll. Which one would you like to select?
Do I recognize any faces on the shadows or no? I mean,
Uh,
but on statues or no?
Nope, there are no faces on the statues, so you would have to get. So the motifs are like actually on the stands of the statue. So as you go up to the scroll, you can see the motif that the scroll is laying on. But what you can see are the stands, and so you have the infernal stand, the shadow stand, and then the magical stand.
He's gonna go to the shadow stand.
Okay. As you go for the shadow stand, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. Wisdom saving throw. That is a 18.
All
Yes.
right.
And so you find what appears to be the Shade Gleam Lament, but the translation appears to be different. And as you walk up to it, um, from your understanding of Old Elvish, particularly, you notice that this version of the song has more verses than the one that you are used to and that you've grown up hearing and looking at. And in fact, even the verses within themselves appear to have additional lines. But as you're looking at this scroll, you are unable to make out the contents of it in this moment. And so you kind of gather it and like are taking it in and just kind of examining the motif. And as you begin to look, you still have the images of Sarah forging the blade, but then the next motif appears to be different. Whereas the previous stand had an image of what looked to be Asmodeus ripping the blade from the depths of the Shadowfell. This one appears to show him slaying what appears to be some deity that you do not recognize. And in fact, what's really strange is that Asmodeus seems to be reflected differently here. While he still is drawn in his infernal form, he has a halo above his head, which is typically reserved for the greater deities, those blessed by Gabriel and those that are known as the good gods. And then as you go to the next motif, you have Asmodeus handing the blade off to Barnabas once more, this time without the stipulations of what appeared to be the contract in hand. And then you also have another depiction of Bartholomew, who appears to be handing this sword off to a young Damon. And this motif draws a distinction because Damon does not stand alone in this image with the hint of corruption and sinisterness. He stands in tow with several figures behind him, and the depiction appears to be more ceremonial than transactional in the previous image. And that is what you kind of gather from that. And as you pick up that from the motif, and the scroll appears to be hard to decipher, but clearly different in some way, what would you like to do?
Is there a pen or like a quill that I can use around me?
As you look around, there appears to be no quill or anything, but you do know that typically like that stuff is kept in your bags, and you left that stuff with Mogan.
Okay, I take a mental note of the differences in my lament versus what I saw. Um, can I look at the other ones, or can I look around for anything else in the temple?
As you turn, it appears that the temple is now empty. The scrolls are no longer surrounding. In fact, it appears like
the temple begins to shake and rumble as cracks begin to appear on the walls, and the cool blue light turns into a dark hue, a gray tint, if you will, as there appears to be some change in the environment here as the temple begins to rock and several cracks begin to form along the walls and the grounds. What would you like to do as everything around you is shaking as several rocks begin to fall down from the ceiling?
I look around, and you said that everything is gone, or it's just the temple collapsing around me.
Yep,
Like
as you look
everything is gone,
around,
like
it
there's nothing to
appears
grab.
like everything is kind of just in ruin, kind of scattered as you turn around. There appear to be like several like torn books and scrolls along the floors, and the walls begin to crack and break.
And can I like leave it, or can I like leave the temple but try to grab whatever I can on the way out?
Yeah, so you grab like the scroll that you were reading, and you start to head outside of the temple. And as you do, don't know if you can see my screen or not.
Yeah, I'm looking.
So as you do, you step out, and the environment appears to be changed. The smell in the air appears to be thick with rot and blood and nature. You step out into what appears to be a swampy land, a mossy bog. And as you look out, you can see what appears to be the echoes and the remnants of the temple that you were just in. However, defiled and desecrated. Symbols of serpents appear where once the moon was and the Seihanin was revered. There are statues of Hydra-like creatures and hybrid human serpent monstrosities underneath various scribbles of blood that are painted across the walls, covering the various insignia and what would be like murals of Seihanin that were once here in this area. And as you step out into this, you look up and you see that it's almost as if the blue appears to be growing in size. And as you take it in, you notice that it's not that it's growing, but it's actually slowly coming down to the surface. And as you look out, you see over a small clearing, the blue is in its full brightness is actually appears to be sitting right in front of you. And as you walk forward, you step out into what appears to be a ruinous clearing, and the blue, which was once floating as it always had been up in the sky, appears to be here in the size that it always looks like in the sky, but it's right here. And as you stand here in this clearing, what would you like to do?
If I look at it, he is watching me. As he tucks away the scroll that he had, and he reaches out to the blue.
As you reach out to the blue, you see the ripples start to boom, 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 kind of ripple out along the surface of it. And as you start to sort of put your palm up against it, a light starts to glow around the edges of your fingers and your palm. And you can feel the coolness of the blue as you are actually touching it and you are taking in this moment. It is a moment of awe and wonder, and it's a religious experience. What else are you doing here?
Yeah, he speaks to it. Father, Moonweaver, as he like tries, as he rests his hands on it, as he like looks around to see if anybody else is there, and he's
As
like
you
kind of
turn
like
around,
go ahead.
you see and you hear first, as you call out the Father, you hear, "Did you find what you're looking for, boy?" And as you turn around, you see what appears to be a grotesque serpentine abomination with the face of your Uncle Moga as he stands there walking towards you slowly. He says, "Did you find what you're looking for?"
What that? Where's Moga? What have you done with Moga? As he like kind of steps backwards towards the blue, like backing away from it, like backing away from whatever the thing is.
Yeah, and the blue is physical. So as you back into it, it is like you kind of back into it and you kind of feel its coolness up against your back as this creature begins to slowly make its way towards you. And you can see its grotesque serpentine tail moving as if it has a thought of its own with no coordination with the rest of its body, just wriggling around in a frantic scramble as he begins to step towards you. He says, "Boy, what's gotten into you? You look like you've seen a ghost."
Who are you, Snake Man, and what have you done with Moga? As he walks like around the blue, but like his back is still like on it.
Yeah, as you walk around the blue, you actually shift out of sight of Moga. He says, "Boy, where are you going?" "I wanted to trip." And as you shift around the blue, the world gets silent. As you hear a "Boy! Boy! Boy!" And everything goes black. And as you start to slowly adjust to the darkness, you hear a voice. "You are not worthy," as a serpent-like tail whips out from underneath you, as if the ground has given way and turned into a sea of liquid. You are now tugged down deep into this depth, this ocean, this fathomless, bottomless pit. And as you are dragging, you feel yourself begin to lose oxygen. I need you to give me a survival roll here.
Oh man.
That was a 16.
16. As you start to struggle for your breath, you feel another serpent-like tail whip out and wrap around your neck, and it begins to try to choke you as you let out whatever oxygen was contained within your body. You can see the bubbles start to bubble up to the surface as it begins to drag you down 2 times faster. I need you to make a survival check with disadvantage.
And I like try to stab at it as well with like whatever weapon I have on me.
Yes, sir.
That is a
As you
15.
begin to stab at it, you manage to unwreath the tail that was ripped around your neck. And as you do so, 2 more whip out and grab you by your arms, and they outstretch you, crucifying you in this. It puts you in a crucifixion position as they begin to drag you further and further and further down into the depths. And as you are feeling the life fade from your eyes, you hear a voice call out, "But he will be." And a flash of blinding light illuminates the area. The twilight of blue is now engulfing what was this bottomless abyss in this fluorescent blue twilight. And as it does so, the snake tails begin to wither away from your body as you slowly are brought out of the abyss. And you find yourself standing within a bright white plain. And as you start to look around, you take in the serene atmosphere, the ominous silence. And as you look down, you can see your friends. You see Mace and York. You see Paulo and Kalen. You see Asha and Egon and all of the party members that you recruited there at the outpost, all struggling to fight this storm as they are driving headfirst into the thick of it. And as you are observing, you watch as your body that was on the deck, which was getting caught up in the rain, Mace picks you up and he rushes you downstairs and he takes you to the bed. He puts you down and he kind of gives you some words, and he heads back upstairs and begins to again help with the rest of the party at keeping the ship afloat. And as you look down, you can zoom in, and as you sort of float in closer to yourself, you can see now your unconscious body resting on the boat, still breathing but unaware and unable to interact or help your friends around you, as all hell is breaking loose here out on the open seas. And as you are doing so, you hear a voice call out and says, "My son."
Who is that?
As you turn around, you get a good look at what appears to be your mom.
Mother? What are you doing here? I thought you, Father, where is he? The mission. Where are you guys? What is this?
I am not your mother, younger Ralos. I merely chose this form as one that you would find more or most comfortable.
Then who are you?
It is I, younger Ralos. Zehir, your goddess.
As he kind of like kneels towards her and says, I thought that you had forsaken us. I've been trying to speak to you, but you have not been responding.
My son, you know just as I that my fate is trapped here within the Shade Gleam.
How do I free you? How can I restore you to your grace?
My son, my champion has fallen, and with him, the Shade Gleam sword has been lost.
Your champion? Who was your champion?
She goes, his name was Seraphel, a young elf. He has fallen, and with him, I have been lost as well. My child,
I just
you
met the
must find
Seraphim.
me.
Where can I find you? Where do you know where I can find the Shadow Gleam?
You are not yet ready to retrieve it. However, that time will come. I have a mission for you. A mission that you must complete in order to come into your fullness.
But of course. And you said Cetaphil was lost. I just saw a Cetaphil before my journey. He said that he washed up the daemon though. It struck me as odd.
That Seraphel is an imposter. A whisper agent of Eris.
Would he have information on how to find you or your mission that you will give me?
My child, you need not worry yourself with burdens that are far too great for you to bear at this time. For now, I have this for you. Go to my temple in North Primos. Seek out my personal chambers, and there you will find my weapon.
Of course.
It will grant you the power to slay this beast and retrieve the Shadowgleam sword.
Of course. I have to know. I have been trying to get assistance from the Raven Queen to find my father. Do you know of his whereabouts? He was looking for my mother, and I have not heard from them in years.
My sweet child, your father and your mother they are gone. And at this time, their souls are out of my reach. They are restless, Aralos. But do not let this fret you. Do not let this news break you upon the task that I have given you. For by achieving this, you will have the power to right all of these wrongs, and their souls will be released, and they will join me with the rest of your ancestors.
Of course. As he thinks to himself about how he's been kind of just strung along by the Raven Queen and how that just doesn't sit right with him. Not Primos, your personal chamber, a weapon. How do I know that the weapon is still there and it has not been taken from your personal chambers? What kind of weapon is it?
My chambers are only accessible by a true believer, one that knows the songs of our people. The Yuan-Ti have no need and no desire or no respect for Tungra's true origins. They have defiled my temple. They have accursed it and dedicated it to that traitorous lord, that traitorous god, the fell Zehir. You will make easy work of these creatures. Sneak in, find my chambers, retrieve the weapon, and with it, we will begin anew, Herodotus.
But of course, Moonweaver, I will do as you ask. I will retrieve your weapon, and I will slay all those that are in my way. Is there a way for me to commune with you later once I have retrieved the weapon?
Unfortunately, no. While you're here in the astral plane, I have access to speak with you. But I too am locked away from Tungra, from reaching you within the plane. This will be our last time speaking until you reach my temple, Morales. Within my chambers and with my weapon, I will be able to commune with you.
Of course. I will be sure to make that my first trip when I return to my body. I will do as you have asked. I will do as you have asked of me. Do you have any more advice, guidance that could help me on my future journeys until we speak again?
Go ahead and roll me a religion check with advantage.
Religion check with advantage. That is going to be a 18.
Yeah, she's gonna say, your friend, Denarion, the, Yuan Ti, I saw him when he met with Seraphel in Thorgunum. He was betrayed by his people. He knows the ways of Serpent's Embrace. He knows the history of North Primrose. And he knows who the true god of Tungra is. If he does not know, then he shall know. But he will be a valuable ally. Bring him into the fold. Bring him to North Primrose. You and your party. And you will have my blessing to take the temple.
Most Moonweaver, I will do as you have asked of me. And what of the Raven Queen? She has steered me wrong this entire time, bringing me along. When I asked for help finding my father, she had me do meaningless tasks for her. All to what it seems now to just for her own personal gain. And she knew this information, I assume. I know that you guys came together for my father. I feel she does not have the same affinity for me. Am I misguided in my thoughts?
You're not misguided. It is not any fault of yours that you do not have her same favor. Give me a religion check real quick. This is just for me, real quick. So close. All right. The Raven Queen, she has her own dispositions. motivations. And well, let's just say your father was not holding up to the standard of grace.
And so she punishes me.
I don't think of it as a punishment, just she needs tools that are more effective. I, on the other hand, am willing to build.
Understood. I will go to your temple. We will convene once I get there. Thank you for releasing me from the serpent.
Now, take this. As she reaches out and embraces you, and she like kisses you on the top of your head. And as she does so, you start to wake up on the ship. And that is where we will end tonight's session. We will pick up in the storm next time.